Bucor video showcase. Hope you will find everything you need to know. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our presentation.
The correctional system in the Philippines is composed of 6 agencies under 3 distinct and separate departments of the national government: the Department of Justice or DOJ, the Department of Interior and Local Government or DILG, the Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD. The Bureau of Corrections or Bucor is an agency under the Department of Justice mandated to carry out institutional rehabilitation program of the government for national offenders, those sentenced to more than 3 years, and to ensure their safe custody. It is composed of 7 operating institutions strategically located all over the country to accept national prisoners. The central office is located in the New Bilibid Prison, Muntinlupa City, Metro Manila, where the director, the assistant directors, and the general administration staff are holding official functions. The Bucor organization. As envisioned, the Bucor will be a modern, secured, and professional correction institution which is characterized by a more responsive prison system that is geared towards the humane and spiritually guided rehabilitation of inmates for their reintegration into the mainstream of society. Our vision is a modern corrective service that is humane, productive, and restorative. Our mission is to carry out its twin objectives: custody and rehabilitation of national offenders. To administer and operate the national prison system, the Bucor has an authorized plantilla positions of mixed personnel consisting of civilian employees, medical staff, and custodial forces. The Bucor adheres and adopts the following principles in accomplishing its twin mandated objectives and performing its assigned functions. To enable the execution of these functions, the Bucor was organized as follows. There are staff divisions and special offices assisting the director in the command, control, and direction of the Bureau. The confinement and rehabilitation programs are undertaken by the 7 operating prisons and penal farms. The very first stop of national prisoners committed to the Bureau of Corrections is the Reception and Diagnostic Center or RDC. Let's take a look at RDC.
Upon arrival at the Reception and Diagnostic Center, newly committed inmates are escorted to the receiving office. The receiving office receives, numbers, and records newly committed inmates, along with their pertinent papers such as information, court decisions, and commitment orders. They also undergo the ceremonial munti-free haircut. Their belongings are searched for contraband items. The Identification Section Officer establishes the identity of the inmate to ensure that said person is the same as reflected on his papers. The inmate immediately undergoes fingerprinting and photography to be included in his personal files or records. He is escorted by the keeper to his assigned cell in a process called quarantine, wherein respective quarters in charge and his staff take over. The inmate receives cell instructions. Inmate undergoes physical examination, Inmates found to have physical handicap or mental disorders are immediately attended by our dedicated medical officer and are kept under observation. An inmate submits himself voluntarily to be obliterated of his gang mark in accordance with the memorandum of the Director of Corrections. An orientation program is conducted to provide information to newly arrived inmates regarding their privileges, mental health, rehabilitation programs, and institutional adjustment. As competent speakers explain in detail to the inmates' level of understanding. Group interaction after each of the topic allows inmates to ask questions. The diagnostic staff schedules and conducts interviews, testing, and screening. Inmates' medical history is properly documented by the medical officer. Medical information and mental status examination are necessary to determine his overall physical and mental fitness. Psychological test is administered and evaluated to determine personality profile, intelligence, and aptitude of an inmate. Sociological interview to gather background information on each inmate for preparation of his social case history. Vocational placement interviews inmates to determine work history, interest, aptitude, skills, training needs, and work habits for each inmate. Educational achievement testing is conducted to assist inmate in educational placement and for recommendation for academic training. The case coordination section staff gathers, correlates, studies, analyzes the various diagnostic and status reports from the diagnostic sections in preparation of the case summary report to determine the overall condition of inmates. Inmates undergo initial classification for their institutional assignments and rehabilitation programs. The minutes of the meeting, including staff recommendations, are then transmitted to the Director of the Bureau of Corrections for his disposition. After about the 60 days, we would have them completed the final process, wherein our inmate will be transferred to the implementing institution where he is to be rehabilitated.
Magandang hapon po, mga Vice Tutorino. Mga intindiyo, antay na kayo.
Well, it's time for them to move on, and the legacy of the programs we impart to them lives on, in their hearts, in their mind, and in their soul, wherever they go. After all, this is the essence of the Bureau, correctional.
After the inmates are classified, they are transferred to any of the designated 7 operating prisons and penal farms all over the Philippines as follows: the New Bilibid Prison, Davao Prison and Penal Farm, Iwahig Prison and Penal Farm, Sablayan Prison and Penal Farm, San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm, Leyte Regional Prison or LRP, the Correctional Institution for Women or CIW, the only prison for women offenders. The New Bilibid Prison or NBP is the central office from where the seat of administration and organizational power emanates. NBP is a regular prison housing 60% of the country's insular prisoners. The NBP houses the following camps: the maximum security, the medium security, and the minimum security camps. NBP offers various work and livelihood programs, education through formal, non-formal, and vocational to inmates at these camps. Davao Prison and Penal Farm offers various agro plans and programs. Its livelihood programs include handicraft making, horticulture, orchidarium, tire recycling, banana chips production through Tadeco. Iwahig Prison and Penal Farm, the largest operating institution under the Bucor, operate its rehabilitation, education, and work programs in agro-industrial productions. Sablayan Prison and Penal Farm. Aside from non-formal education, work programs in agro-industrial production is also being catered to the inmates. Horticulture is the main line of production. Private sector's participation is encouraged through joint venture in rice and corn areas and upland for other cash crops. San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm offers work programs, education and on-the-job training, sports, and spiritual enhancement programs as part of rehabilitation for inmates. The area occupied was designated as part of the Zambo Ecozone and Freeport pursuant to Proclamation No. 111 and 112 proclaiming the mountainous area of Upper Bongyao and Curuan as its relocation site. Leyte Regional Prison or LRP. LRP's program of rehabilitation include non-formal education and applied training in building or residential wiring installation. It has facilities to enhance rehabilitation through sports and recreations. The Correctional Institution for Women or CIW is the only prison for women offenders. The CIW, manned mostly by female correctional officers, provides various activities to inmates, aside from the basic health, medical, and dental services regularly administered to inmates. Crimes against persons, such as murder, homicide, parricide, continue to dominate the offense profile. Accounts for 50% of the cases of national prisoners. 17 persons were executed by hanging after World War II and 84 through electric chair from 1924 to 1976. NBP is also the designated facility for death sentence prisoners, the site of the lethal injection chamber. Following the reimposition of death penalty in 1994, 7 death convicts were so far executed by lethal injection. At present, there are more than 1,000 death convicts awaiting their execution. Majority of inmates confined in national prison did not finish secondary education, while nearly 6% never went to school or were illiterate. Only 3% earned a college degree. It was felt that the first step in our rehabilitation effort is to provide the basic needs of inmates as human beings. The other steps in the rehabilitation process are as follows. Inmate work programs. Bucor offers a variety of inmate work programs, from agricultural to industrial. The purpose of the inmate work program is to keep the inmates busy and to provide them money for their personal expenses and their families and help them acquire livelihood skills. The health care of inmates was provided through a 500-bed capacity hospital at the New Bilibid Prison and 6 other mini-hospitals or clinics in the other 6 prisons. The combined medical and dental staff is capable of minor surgical operations, laboratory examinations, radiology, and dental treatment. The Bucor offers technical and practical skills through formal and non-formal education. The latter is designed to teach inmates on numeric reading and writing. Vocational training is being undertaken through formal and on-the-job training. The Muntinlupa Juvenile Training Center, a pilot project of Japan International Cooperation Agency and DOJ, provide the juvenile offenders with vocational training courses and behavior modification programs. The inmates enjoy sunrise by participating in daily calisthenics. There are various sports activities, programs, tournaments, and leagues year-round, such as basketball and volleyball. These sports competitions promote good sportsmanship and team building. The latest addition is the newly renovated social hall known as the Santiago Hall to cater to indoor sports. The chaplaincy service caters to the religious needs of inmates and personnel. Each of the prisons and sub-colonies has one organic chaplain and a church to undertake various religious workshops and formations. Majority of the inmates are Roman Catholics. Therapeutic Community Program is designed by Dr. Edelinda Garcia Patak, Bucor TCC Chief Executive Officer, primarily but not limited to drug dependents committed to the center. The therapeutic community has been considered as an effective treatment and rehabilitation modality. The effort of the Bureau of Corrections to rehabilitate drug dependents under its care is very significant in its commitment to create a drug-free prison. Worldwide developments in the treatment and rehabilitation of drug offenders using the therapeutic community approach have been noted to be effective in many prisons. The new Bilibid prison has become a tourist attraction, not only with the presence of 5 historical sites declared by the Historical Commission in 1999, namely the Administration Building, Director's Quarters, Jamboree Lake, Grotto, and Japanese Shrine, but because of its improvements and cleanliness.
The misconception and wrong ideas of many people about the Bureau of Corrections, or more popularly known as Munti, are now things of the past. The Bureau is all about change, with touch of love and care, just as God loves His people, and we are the stewards and shepherds, tending the flock to our care.
Lots of innovations and improvements have been undertaken, both in the physical and administrative aspects. With these developments, we are optimistic that the Bucor is heading towards the right direction, which will make this agency a premier agency of the Department of Justice. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay!
Ligtas at makabawi.